Hello students, welcome to TS1 Unit 3. Under Part 3, in today's class, we will be dealing about the Silk Route, the pilgrimage, the Grand Tour, the transition to the modern tourism and modern tourism in India. So once again, it is going to be an interesting topic. First, we will deal with the Silk Route. It links the movement of the people from east to west can be understood through the Silk Route. So how the people from the east, how they travel towards the west. By understanding the Silk Route, you can understand the reason, what was the real reason behind the movement of people from east towards the west. It started about in 2000 BC and it transformed over time. So it was one of the oldest route we can say in the history which was recorded. Before the 2000 years BC also we can find the samples, and still now those routes are about to be reconstructed. So we are planning in a very grand way because these routes run through several countries. So we have to keep a close watch on what happened in the earlier period. Silk Route is experienced as an intercontinental travel route because it was touching various countries and various continents, and moreover the people faced a lot of inconvenience during the earlier time because the ultra modern transport facilities was not available for those people, those who are from those ages. You can imagine that in 2000 BC what will be the mode of transport. That does not deter the people, still they made it as a plan to travel from one part of the world to another part by following this Silk Route. Silk Route is reported in travel records, annals and in chronicles in the accounts of the pilgrim. So it is one of the oldest route we can say. Meetings and exchange of silk, muslin, fine glasses, tea, rices and spices took place. It is not only the product, more than this product also which took place because these products are peculiar in other part of the world. So the travelers, those who are traveling, they carried this part and they gave it to the people in the other part. From there they took certain item and they came back. So everywhere they came to know what is happening, what sort of product is being produced or what agricultural activities is taking place in those places because of this Silk Route. The travelers also exchanged the knowledge and the production process, and the different part of the world came to know what is happening exactly in other part of the world. Moreover, the stages of journey was also short and they depend mainly on the climatic condition, and during the winter season also they preferred to travel, and during the hot summer season the travel activities were less. So it depends upon the season and it depends upon the geography and it depends upon the place how they travel from one place to another. However, this journey time was very short because they used to travel short, they used to take rest and they proceed in that manner. They covered the entire route. Navigation, ultra modern equipments was not available for the navigation. Even then they took the help of the stars and they took the course of the stream of the river, and that made them to travel from one place to another. So every time they used to have the monitoring from the stars and they used to get the guidance. Yes, it is in this position now where we have to travel. So in the night time they will still watch and they set their compass, and accordingly they moved from one place to another. The revenue was also collected from the travelers in certain countries, and large state provided more facilities and also earned more income through taxing the travelers. So they collected the tax, and with the help of the tax they gave some facility to the travelers by laying roads or by creating some inns and also by providing certain services. The taxes were there, the traveler has to pay the tax, and with the help of the tax the state or the government, they were helping the travelers by providing certain infrastructure. Ideas and new techniques crossed the borders because of this Silk Route, because various countries, various traditions were followed, customs were followed, and because of the movement of traveler, the knowledge also traveled from one part of the world to another part through this Silk Route. With the fallback of empires, many empires later on collapsed. So when the collapse took place, automatically the travel, the commerce, the trade, it all were put it to rest. So they didn't do the activities once when the empire collapsed, because the king was not in a position to support the travelers, or due to the disturbance or due to any other problem they stopped traveling, and the infrastructure such as the seaside resorts, the spas and other recreational center became less of activities. So it is also recorded in the period of the history. Then later on, after some rural came, then he started reviving those. Then once again we can see those routes are busy. Then after some time that empire or that particular situation collapsed and once again they stopped moving. So like this, in the part we are getting that not a continuous record was available. The record was there, then the proof was also there why it collapsed, and in the later stage then we can find once again the travel started further. Then tourism is an amalgam of phenomena and practices rather than the single unique orientation. So you cannot study the tourism under one particular subject, it has to be studied under various subjects. So the phenomena became the area or the subject because of the vast movement of the people, and the prime reason for the movement is of developing the tourism. So once when the tourism developed, people also started moving more. So when people started more, automatically the process of tourism developed. So we have to study both the concepts side by side. It is the development or it is the tourism development, it is both. So once when the people moved, the tourism also gained momentum. When the tourism gained momentum, the people also started moving. Tourism gave a lot of inputs to the other business, and the other business also gave a lot of inputs to the tourism. Destinations are chosen based on the particular attraction, which could be either business, occasional or pleasure related. So the map is kept for the Silk Route. From there you can understand how vast this route is. Is it clear? Even though it was spreading into various continents, the people moved and they stayed at a particular place and they kept pass on. So the Silk Route is an interesting route. Even today it exists and people are trying to revive those routes so that we can understand how our earlier people, they were interested, they were curious in traveling from one part of the world to another despite the hurdles what they have faced. Now we will deal about the pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is an important part of domestic tourism, not only in India, in various parts of the world. Journey undertaken for the betterment on the spiritual and on the material plane will be called as the tourism, or the pilgrimage tourism can be exactly defined with the help of this. Many people are facing the problem. Ultimately, they believe in a superpower, so they try to move towards those places, towards those shrines, towards the temple, or to the place where they can take bath or the holy bath in a particular river or in a particular pond. So for the purpose of religion, if the people are moving from one place to another, we can call it as a pilgrimage tourism. Then it came into the existence right from the olden days, because our forefathers, they were aware of such situations, so they have traveled a lot despite of the particular problem existing in the travel trade. So the pilgrimage is one of the oldest method why the people moved. The motivation behind is the pilgrimage. Belief and knowledge within a particular cultural context is the key element of the pilgrimage, because I strongly believe in this particular religion or in this particular custom. So I used to travel, and that was carried on right from the generation to generation, so that still exists. Even in the olden days, the people followed pilgrimage. Even today, many of us may be following this pilgrimage for getting a solace or for any particular treatment of our or a curiosity to know what is happening exactly in a particular thing. So we undertake this pilgrimage. In traditional society, pilgrimage earned God's grace and moral leadership in the community. Because of rituals and other customs has to be maintained, we are following this still, and we believe in following so. So once when it is carried from one generation to another generation, this was common not only for a one particular religion, it is common almost in many other religions also. You can see people going to a particular destination if they belong to a particular religion. Even today's world you can see them, you can notice them. Pilgrimage added maximum to our knowledge. Because of this geography, culture and tradition, we can observe it while we are undertaking the pilgrimage, and such things can be remembered for a long time. Because I remember those things what I have seen, because I had been on tour, especially on the pilgrimage tour. So I know what is the customs and tradition, what is happening in the northern part of India or in the western part of India or in the southern part of India. Suppose if I am not undertaking such tour, I may not be knowing or I may not be learning such thing. Special itineraries are prepared and the tours are also conducted for the purpose of pilgrimage. You can see various trains were being run during a particular festival season or fairs or where that particular event is taking place, because such spot it attract a lot of tourists. So to give lot of infrastructural assistance, various special trains or various special units were created so that the more tourists must visit that particular place during that particular event and they can be a part of pilgrimage tourism. Kumbh Mela, the Navagraha circuit in the Tamil Nadu are also very famous example for this pilgrimage tourism, because they follow or they undertake a journey only at that particular time of that particular year, particular calendar they follow, and before that they plan the journey, the itinerary will be done and the people will be moving in a huge number towards that particular spot, and that becomes a part of the pilgrimage tourism. Pilgrimage tourism is vital and being experience is being done. So what we are doing, we are experiencing certain thing, on reaching the destination we experience that particular thing. So the pilgrimage tourism automatically gains more importance due to the increase in the income. Pleasure component are added to the pilgrimage routes and in the itinerary. So earlier the people were very serious, they have limited income, so they were very much worrying and they used to travel for pilgrimage. Nowadays the disposable income of the people have increased, so while going to a particular place they are staying and they are enjoying, or in the return journey after coming away from the destination they are enjoying and they are coming back home. So it may be due to the development and in the modern progress, but still that pilgrimage tourism is on and it will be on. Special pilgrimage packages are being designed and advertised in India. They know that exactly this particular event will take place. For example, the Kumbh Mela, it will be taken place at that particular period of time. They go in for creating the packages, they give a lot of advertisement and the people will make the movement towards that particular place. So they know that huge gathering will be there. Accordingly, the informal sector, they gain and they give lot of services and they gain a lot of business also. So once when the mass movement of the people are taking place for the particular purpose of religious tourism or the pilgrimage tourism, there the huge business opportunity is available for the local people. That becomes a point where the local also take interest and the guest also take interest in undertaking such journey. Pilgrimage destination became famous because the cultural identity is attached to that particular thing. In this particular place, if this particular event is conducted, it will be having such special features. Pilgrimage tourism will never come to an end. It keeps on attracting the people. It has both spiritual and social approval. So this will remain in our history pages for a long time. Certain photographs were kept in front of you in this slide to understand. You can see and appreciate it is not only common for a particular religion, but it is also common for other religions also. Here you can see how the individual, they are moving towards the water bodies in India. A huge gatherings are there and the people celebrate it. They take pride in celebrating it. So the pilgrimage tourism is an important part of domestic tourism, especially for countries like India. Now we will move further towards the grand tour. This grand tour also attracted a huge number of travelers. The circuit of Western Europe undertaken by the wealthy social elite groups. The people, those who are rich in the Western European countries, they made travel, they followed particular route. The reason for their travel is very exclusive. So what they have done, they have created a special itinerary and that comes under the grand tour. The grand tour people mainly traveled for understanding the culture, for the purpose of education and for the purpose of pleasure. So the three reasons were main motivation to undertake this grand tour. Only the people, those who are very rich, and they took this particular route and they traveled all over the world under this grand tour and they learnt many things. People maintained their diaries, letters and journals, and the information what they made available to us through this became very useful for us in constructing this grand tour. How it took place, from where they moved to where, what was the main reason for the movement, everything is recorded. So the grand tour also plays a vital role in understanding the history of tourism of the world. Through these documents, we came to know what, in where, in which part of the country, what development is taking place, and we can also appreciate our own perspectives on the nature of the grand tour. So it became a part of the history. History of tourism can never come to an end without understanding the grand tour. Now, on understanding the characteristic of grand tour, we can say it can be defined in terms of class that determine the places visited and the mode of travel. So, which class people traveled, what was the mode used for them to travel, and what place they have visited. So, if you understand this, automatically you can construct the characteristic of grand tour. Can be defined by the destination on the itinerary. So, they were traveling to a particular place of the world, and mainly they traveled for the purpose of culture, for the purpose of education, and for the purpose of pleasure. Oxford Dictionary defines grand tour as a tour of the principal cities and places of interest in Europe. So, they have certain exclusive, the correct destination where to travel. They have not traveled all over, but they traveled exclusively to particular destination, formerly said to be an essential part of education of young man and of good birth and fortune. So, it can be undertaken only by the people, those who are rich, especially when they are of young age. They were sent away to these destinations by their parents, so that they should learn the culture, they should learn the education, they should learn the health, the scientific, the business and the economic aspects are the main motivation. So, they have to develop their life. So, once when you are young, the parents of the kids, they decided that it is the time for him to move away from home. He has to move to those destinations which are mentioned in the grand tour. He has to stay there for a long time. He has to get himself educated. So, at the end of this particular journey, he will be returning back home as a matured man, and he can undertake the process of his life and he can lead a better life. So, only the rich people were in a position to undertake this grand tour, and the reasons for the motivation, especially the education, the culture and the particular business aspects has to be understood. Tours and the length of the stay at the destination depends upon season and the availability of tourism resources. Normally, they used to spend a lot of time, they took a lot of time, because they have to look into the various aspects of the tradition and culture. They have to observe and they have to learn. So, in those days there is no other way except to spend more time at the destination. When they spent more time, automatically they learned more things and they gained more knowledge. So, they will be continuously noting it down, and on observation you can learn many things, so that people, those who are involved in the grand tour, they became more knowledgeable person and they were given more respect. It provided a base for emergence of tourism industry, and many people, when they wrote certain things, how they traveled, what route they followed, it automatically became a guidebook and the travel organizer for others. So, when they returned back home, the people in their home country, they came to know about what is happening in the other part of the world, how his friend travel, and sometimes they also undertook the journey in the same line, so that they can go to those destinations. So, from the various photographs which are kept in front, you can understand how that journey might have been taken in the grand tour in those periods. Then, on coming towards the transition to modern tourism. Student, let us understand the transition to modern tourism in the slides coming. The transition has to be also understood very correctly if you want to learn the history of tourism, because it is at this particular point, slowly the transportation facility increased. The technology made the journey possible. It made the travel easier than the earlier days. So, it is that particular point from where the mass tourism came into scene, because the transportation facilities increased, automatically more people started traveling. So, the process of mass tourism somewhere started from here. Before entering into the mass tourism and other effects, we will try to understand the transition of the modern tourism. Industrialization increased the income. So, when the industry started preparing or manufacturing various goods, slowly the people got employment. When the more people were employed, now there came in the history, the pages, the salaried people. That means the people, the industrial workers, those who are working for the monthly salaries, they also got the payment. So, when they got the payment, the disposable income automatically increased. No, so that the people, those who are the salaried class, they also started undertaking journey, because they are seeing the rich peoples are moving. So, when I got the employment facility, now I became a salaried man. So, I may also think that I too have to undertake some journey. even though they have not followed very famous routes, they started moving towards certain attractive destination. The organized tours were conducted for such inexperienced traveler. So for the first time, I may be an inexperienced traveler. So once when I am going along with the tour operating company, I will come to know what I have to do at destination. Slowly I will know where I have to go for booking, what I have to do. Then the second trip will be taken by me without the help of any other tour organization. So they gained the confidence. When the individual gained confidence, they started moving from one place to another in search of many destinations. So numerous destinations it came around after the industrial development. The awareness regarding the travel also increased. The education of the people also increased. Qualifications, when they increased, slowly the people gained more time, they got more money, and they started visiting various other places. There are the different form of tourism also came in the being, because when the middle class started, they were not mainly traveling for the education or for the purpose of pleasure, though they too started for some other reason. They too started exploring the world for some other reason. So when such thing took place, they started moving towards certain destination rather than following the rich people to which destination they are going. So they started moving towards those places where they can spend little money but they can enjoy their vacation. So they started moving around to places which are of nearby distance and where they have to spend only less money. Because of this, they started constructing various second home in various destinations. That means I was so much attracted by a place or a hill station. What I am doing? I am earning money from here, I am going to that particular destination and I am purchasing a house. So in every vacation I used to go there and I used to stay. Such concept started being viewed in the history of pages of tourism. Then comes the institutional pattern of the British administration always encourage students to move on tour to learn. So while educating the students, they made it as a compulsory process of the curriculum that the students has to undertake tour. So as a student, I was moving to other destination and I am learning along with my friends. So when I got a job, then I am getting more payment. So at that time, naturally, I will take my family members and I will move on tour to other places. So this concept became very famous, and later on the people were provided with leave travel concession to travel, so that they moved from one place to another with the help of that LTC concessions, and that became very famous in later part. The circuit houses, the dog bungalows provided more accommodation to the visiting clients, as a result of which the salaried class travelled regularly. So it became an habit because they got lot of concession. And various companies, they started building the guest house in other famous destinations. So for their employee, they will be accommodating the employee for a particular period and they will be charged very less. So such concept arrived. So slowly the modernization in transportation it took place, and various accommodation unit also helped the betterment of the travelers. So the travel became easier for the people, those who are getting the monthly salary also, and it slowly became the habit. And later on, this habit has changed the entire tourism industry of the world. Then while coming slowly, and when we are touching the modern tourism in India, we have to understand it very clearly in India what is happening, because we are going to start up a business here. That means we should have a little bit of thorough understanding of the concept, how this history of tourism, how this modernization took place in India. Middle class and the working people undertook travel in huge number due to well established rail network towards India. It is mainly because of the rail network we can say that the people started moving, because the railways, they charges very less amount and they were helping in the free movement of the people from one part of India to another part. It was made possible because of the rail network. It was the best thing what we had, because the travel rate, if you see the ticket rate in Indian Railways, it will be very cheap and the quality services was provided, so the people started moving. Apart from that, the salaried people, they got the leave travel concession, we used to call it as LTC, and this concession is also in certain places it is given to the students also, those who are undertaking the educational courses in various universities. As a result of it, youth too started traveling. Once when we travel in the young age, that automatically becomes the habit. So once when I get the job, that time also I am traveling. So in the old age also I am moving towards the pilgrimage destination. So that becomes a habit. In the Western comforts were produced and it was also introduced to the people of that particular country. So the people started moving towards these places. So when the Westerners comfort were introduced in India, the people started using those services. For example, that Indian Tourism Development Corporation, they started hotels, and these hotels offered the quality services. So once when the people get the quality service, to enjoy that particular service, I am moving to a particular destination. They are giving such comforts. So once in a lifetime I want to enjoy those comforts. So I am going to that place where such particular comforts were also given. So this too was a basic why it is forcing the tourism development in our country. Plans were made to develop many famous tourist destinations in a big way. In various budgets, the allotment was exclusively made to bring the tourism organization in picture, and as a result of which various organizations started coming, and it gave a lot of inputs, as a result of which it made the travel process easier. Organization like TAAI, that is Travel Agent Association of India, IATA, that is Indian Association of Tour Operator, played a major role in making this tourism a grand success. Then state tourism development corporations were also provided a lot of boost to a tourism trade in that particular state. So they took care of the movement of the people within the states. So the destination of the states were also gaining lot of importance. Apart from the central government, the state government also took a lot of initiative so that they are attracting the visitors or the tourists from other states of India. The main thing, the diverse product, the culture, the adventure sports, the fairs, the festival, golf were encouraged exclusively, so that the people were moving from one part of India to another part of India. The tourism education also slowly gained importance. IITTM, that's the Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management, was set up exclusively to train the manpower required for this travel and tourism trade. So they focused, and the training was given to the various professionals at various levels, as a result of which we are seeing this business has become a very successful one in India. The modern transportation, the cruise, the fast moving aircraft, the air conditioned Volvo coaches, then air conditioned railway coaches also helped us, and it became the part of the modern tourism industry. Including this chapter, we will see once again what we have studied in this class. We have dealt about the Silk Route, at what part of time this Silk Route came into the existence, and what happened in the Silk Route, and how the people moved, what was the main intention of following this route. Then we tried to understand about the pilgrimage, because this has to be understood very correctly, because it is the main reason for the domestic tourism in India, because we follow the various religions, customs, traditions, and the people of all religions almost travel to other parts of India under the domestic tourism, that too under the pilgrimage tourism. So if you understand the concept of this pilgrimage tourism correctly, there will be a scope of further creating new business opportunities at the destination, because the people will be moving continuously to those destinations at a particular season, and the process of pilgrimage will never come to an end. So once when you are trying to open some business, or once when you are trying to provide some services, suppose if you are giving it at a pilgrimage destination, then there is a lot of scope for us to develop into a very good business. So that particular pilgrimage tourism, the reason, the circuits, the people where they are moving, at what season they are moving, everything has to be understood very thoroughly. If you understand the pilgrimage tourism, almost all, it will be very much helpful for considering the history of tourism development. Then comes the grand tour, in which we see how the people of the royal families, they travel, then the transition to modern tourism and modern tourism in India. Hope you have understood. Thank you, student. Thank you very much.